to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Weddy, woohoo, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
1928 it all started, and from the start it was spectacular. From the start it was exciting. Names like Wacker Hunt, Graham Warren, Phil Hearn, Arthur Browning, Andy Graham, Hans Nielsen, Jason Lyons, Martin Smolinski, and many, many more that I have forgotten. Through the years, they have kept that excitement going, with the odd break along the way. What a crying shame then that it is going to finish not with a bang, not with a celebration, but with a league match, a whimper that we shall probably lose on current form. I feel paranoid, like an Iron Man that's feeding us sweet leaf. We are the children of the grave as we head into the void. The symptom of the universe means we are going through changes as we head towards an electric funeral. Only in Speedway. Right, I wonder how many of you know what that last little bit was about, really.
Go through changes.
There was a lot in that last little bit. Answers on a postcard.
There's a bit of a reference to Ozzy there as well.
Well, there was a few references to Ozzy.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, bit sad day about that, but that's not Speedway. We'll possibly touch on that a little bit later. I'd like your opinion on the fact that basically the last meeting is just going to be
a league match.
A league match, and that's,
right, that's it.
That's
We're
it.
off by.
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
what it feels like.
It's disappointing, isn't it? I can sort of make some point you could possibly understand the reasonings why, but I think it's disappointing that, to all intents and purposes, Birmingham Speedway is going to finish, and it's going to finish with no sort of. I mean, there's not much to celebrate about, in fairness, admittedly, certainly over the last 4 or 5 seasons, but I just, the loyal fans who've continued to support the club, even though the results over the last 4 or 5 years has been defeat, or something like that. Anyway, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, I think, to not.
It's a lack of effort. It's a lack of effort. It's what it is. Oh, I can hear myself now. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll revisit this, but we have come to a decision on this show that if the promoters can't be bothered to give the Birmingham Brummies a proper send-off, then we will. So we're going to have a celebration of all things Brummies. We haven't decided on the date yet. We've literally just this second thought of it.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a celebration of all things Birmingham, where what we really want is your participation, of your memories of Birmingham Speedway, right from as far back as Chris can remember. And, matches against Birmingham from other fans as well, good or bad. When like the time we took Kings Lynn's record off them, they was going to go for the longest ever without defeat, and we did the same at Rye House as well, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, we're going to do that. Also, we have to apologise. Well, truthfully, I have to apologise that we haven't had many shows over the past month. That's due to me. I'm not going to go into details, but due to me having to visit the hospital rather a lot to visit a family member. And that still might happen again, so I apologise in advance if it does. But I'm here now. The only thing is, over the last 2 weeks, I've watched very, very little Speedway. What I witnessed last night, I'm not sure I can call Speedway, but that's we'll probably come on to that at some point. Yeah. So I'm throwing it out to you guys. What's happened in the Speedway world over the last 2 weeks that I need to know about?
Well, the first thing, of course, that happens, congratulations to Kings Lynn, because they are in the... there we go.
On cue.
You have 6 minutes in the sweepstakes. So mine's switched off, so... At least I think it is. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Well, Kings Lynn were able to celebrate a remarkable triumph over local rivals Ipswich.
Oh, come on.
I'm trying
I'm
to
a professional. I shouldn't have to put up with this.
You're a what?
Hey? You shouldn't use bad language like that. Kings Lynn were able to celebrate a remarkable triumph over local rivals Ipswich to reach the Premiership Knockout Cup final. The Stars travelled to Foxhall on Thursday last week, leading 48-42 from the first leg and missing 2 of their regular top 5 riders, but they defended their lead superbly and pulled off a 45-all draw to record a 6-point aggregate victory. Kings Lynn manager Rob Lyon paid tribute to these Kings Lynn battlers as the Stars stunned Ipswich with the 45-all draw in Suffolk to get a place in the Premiership Knockout Cup final. Lyon said it's tremendous and it's a credit to the boys. They fought really hard tonight and have shown a lot of fighting spirit over the last few weeks. Tonight was no different, so hats off to them. They deserved it. We've shown what we can do as a team and they are responding so well. Over the 2 leagues we deserve to go through, so bring on Leicester and let's have a great final. So Leicester against Kings Lynn in the Knockout Cup final.
Who would have picked that at the beginning of the season?
I don't think anybody would have picked that, but it's been a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Because Kings Lynn, they have had some good results this season. They weren't great, probably mitigating circumstances in the fact that they lost 2 riders in that meeting. But they've done really well, haven't they? They've pushed Bellevue all the way up at the National Speedway Stadium a few weeks ago. They've obviously done well against Ipswich in meetings there. So they're and Kings Lynn, a little bit like Birmingham, have had a lot of problems over the last few seasons, haven't they? Some poor results, but they've shown some real fighting spirit during the course of this season. So maybe they will enter that final as slight favourites. It's going to be tough against Leicester. Leicester are a good side. Leicester are going to have a good home track advantage, of course. But so the first piece of silverware is going to be decided in that Knockout Cup final. So obviously Leicester fans and Kings Lynn fans, if you want to give your thoughts on that one, please feel free.
Who are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for Kings Lynn.
I mean, that famous home track advantage, which I don't think is as
they haven't done as well. They've lost to Birmingham this season, haven't they? So one of the few teams that have lost to Birmingham.
Only in Speedway. In Speedway.
Okay. Well, meanwhile, also in the Premiership, Bellevue have returned to the top of the table thanks to a 48-42 win at Oxford, with Dan Bewley and Brady Kurtz dominating the closing stages of the meeting. It was the Aces' 3rd win on the road in 2025, and although their trip to Kings Lynn yesterday was postponed, they have a further chance for points on the road when they visit Birmingham next week. Manager Mark even the BSBA website, Manager Mark Levin said everyone did their bit. Zach Cook came good with 2 big wins, and John Lindsay was solid throughout. Then, of course, our big 2 of Dan and Brady delivered the big finish in brilliant style. It was a workmanlike win. You can't rule Bellevue out of this League Championship, I don't think.
Well, I was going to come to that. I mean, who do you think will be the champions and I presume he means the Premiership, is the question that we've been asked. We've been fairly firm all the way through the season of saying a little bit.
They had a wobble earlier in the season when they had a few riders missing, didn't they? But, obviously the last couple of seasons they've looked strong, but they've sort of run into injuries at the wrong time, haven't they? All run out of steam to an extent. So
I think they seem to be running a little bit out of steam this year.
Hopefully they'll be hoping, of course, that they've had their bad luck already and that they'll be fully fit to. I can't believe it's nearly 20 years since they last won the league, so it's quite an astonishing thing. And they've had some strong teams in that period of time, but it's just never come together for them. But it seems like they've always been in the wrong place in the right place, I should say, at the wrong time. Well, talking to the Witches, manager Richie Hawkins says there is full focus on regaining top form ahead of the playoffs, starting against Birmingham on Thursday. They're doing it again, aren't they? With the Witches having suffered a shock knockout cup semi-final aggregate defeat to Kings Lynn, Hawkins said, "We need to perform as we should do and show our fans what we're all about and put in a performance for them. We're now focused on the playoffs and this is the run into them. We have 6 weeks or so to get ourselves into a good run of form because we have faltered since we picked up a few injuries and haven't performed as well as we were earlier in the season. We know we can do a lot better and now is the time to build on that for the massive meetings at the end of the year." So pretty forthright opinions there from Richie Hawkins.
John Hope is just changing the subject completely, talking about Birmingham again. The council are corrupt there is a legacy over the site. Many applications in the past for change of use have been rejected due to the legacy. A well-known local old pal and pal of Ozzy lost a High Court appeal to build a hotel on the site. Shame on those planners, robbery. Now, I have got some forms somewhere in the back of my car to do with the fact that somebody wanted to go on the Wheel site and build a sports venue, but they said what he offered wasn't enough. And then 2 or 3 years later, they sold it to Birmingham City for half the price.
Not the first time I've heard that, to be honest. So.
I think we might be having studio problems.
Connection problems. Yeah, I think we're back on.
Are we back on?
Yeah,
Yep.
I believe so,
Okay.
yeah.
You may have lost us for a few seconds there. Phil Taylor says Rider of the Week month should be Brady Kurtz.
Having a good run. Magic Ionoski might push him because, of course, he was superb at Perry Bar last night, wasn't he?
He was.
So let's move on then to Oxford then. So Magic Ionoski scored 14 points from a possible 15 as the Spires won at Perry Bar on Monday. Remarkably, all 4 of the Spires League victories this season have come against the Brummies, which says a lot, doesn't it? Because they're not a great team, Oxford, I don't think. And this result
Well, they can't beat anybody else.
Well, this result takes them 5 points clear in the battle to avoid the wooden spoon. Manager Peter Schrock said it was fantastic that we had so many fans here tonight getting behind the Spires. Their sport was a bit special and really lifted us. That's what we're looking for the rest of the season with the Spires. We know we can't reach the players, but we want a good run towards the end of the season and finish the year on a high. We want the fans to come along to Oxford and enjoy the remaining meetings for us this season.
They're not a good side, are they?
They're not a good side now. It's been a struggle for them. They've had some pretty poor results, haven't they, all the way through the season. But that's, I think, if Birmingham wanted any chance of sort of avoiding the wooden spoon, they needed to get a result last night. But
Absolutely.
the omens weren't great. Oxford, I don't think Oxford have lost at Perry Bar since they came back.
Have they not?
I don't think
Probably
they have, no.
not.
They didn't obviously last season.
Somebody out there will tell us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got a few more, but we'll play on through if you've got more to do there.
Okay. And we'll move on then to Sheffield then. So manager Simon Stead said he was encouraged by their performance in a narrow defeat at Leicester. In contrast to recent visits to Beaumont Park, the Tigers kept things close in Monday's televised clash before going down 48-42. Stead said, of course, we didn't get a win, but it's certainly another step in the right direction. There are things we're still working on, and I don't feel we're anywhere near the finished article yet. We're still not yet clicking on at the same time, and there's more to come from this group. So Sheffield's sort of going along quite nicely at the moment. Of course, they had the huge blow at the start of the season with losing Ty Woofington, of course, but they seem to have, sort of overcome that a little bit. And again, when we were talking about Bellevue earlier, you can't rule Sheffield out either. Sheffield, of course, they're going to have a big advantage, of course, with the home track advantage.
So I think the question to the answer to the question we asked was earlier, which was who's going to be the champion this year. I think the answer is
I still think Ipswich are favourites on if they can keep all their septet together. So, but it's
Brian Reeson says Ipswich will be top of the league come Thursday night. Yeah,
there's Birmingham. Well, they've got Birmingham, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got Birmingham. Yeah, if you lose against Birmingham at home, you should pack up, I think. Oh, dear.
Well, we'll go on to the Championship shortly, but I think we should talk about last night's meeting, shouldn't we? So it was...
okay.
It looks... On paper, it looked like it was quite close, didn't it? But I never thought Birmingham were going to win that meeting right from 2 or 3.
No, I didn't. The track was a little bit better. There was a couple of dirt lights, particularly on bend 2 and 3. That's 3 and 4.
There was a bit of run around the outside, wasn't there?
So that was nice. So we had a few passes. But gate 1 was like a rocket ship.
Yeah. I think I've got my scorecard. I think there were 19 points scored from gate 1 last night. So that just shows the complete advantage that gate had over the others. I think for Birmingham, I think Keenan rode okay. To be fair, Tobias Music had his customary poor first ride. Matty Zagar seems to have sort of dropped a little bit, hasn't he, over the last 2 or 3 weeks of the
started off good, but then just dropped. So here's my thing about this team. This team is absolute pants. It's rubbish. But don't get me wrong on this. I'm not having a go at any particular riders at all. You go through our rider and in another team, that'd be perfect. That'd be great. Jepson Jensen, great at reserve, which is where he should be. And if MJJ...
Johannes Jepson, you mean?
Yeah, that's the one. MJ, I've had all 2 weeks off. If Barker hadn't been brought in for Jepson, i.e. a reserve for a number one, then Jepson Jensen would whatever his name is, JJ, would have been riding in reserve. Would have been, and I think that you can go all the way through the team and say, if he was riding at this number, they're all riding out of position essentially. They're all riding out of position. Toby would be a great number 5.
Yeah.
Riding at number 5 there.
But not number 1.
Not number 1. Zagar, he's probably in his right in 3. He's probably in his sort of right area 3, 4. But they're just out. They're being so. I mean, Paco riding at number 2. Again, he's really a reserve in this.
Tough position to race in. It was probably the hardest position. It's a bit of a cliche, but it is the hardest position in the team to race in.
So it's not the riders. And don't get me wrong about Ben Barker. I'd have Ben Barker in my team. You know what you get with Ben. But he's come in to replace a number 1 rider at reserve.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm. Not really. And of course, I think everybody knew that Jason Edwards was going to come back and perform, didn't they? So,
yes. I don't know what to say. I mean, you can't say too much against Sam Hagan. He doesn't seem to be able to ride our track.
Yeah.
But he's away from home. He's had some good points. Top scored against Sheffield, I believe.
He did. Yeah. So, it was a good performance at Sheffield, wasn't it? Though Birmingham lost by 10 in that one, so it was.
Yeah, would have taken that before, really.
Yeah.
Dave Twine says ex-rider of the night like Phil Morris helping with the start line at Quagmire, Leicester. I haven't heard about this.
I've seen some of the photographs. I haven't seen any footage, but it did look a bit wet.
We should give a big shout out actually to whichever one of the track staff it was last night that noticed that
we heard that
the fence had started deflating and brought just as they was about to start, had the presence of mind to put his red flag up and get the thing stopped, because that could potentially have been a nasty accident. It's nice to say something positive, but well done to that whoever that was. Well done.
Well, let's look at the week ahead now. Of course, we will go through our prediction league a bit later on in the show. So Sheffield and Leicester will clash again on Thursday, this time in a league fixture at Oleson, while Ipswich will look to return to the top spot when they host Birmingham. Premiership Knockout Cup final takes centre stage next week as King's Lynn host Leicester on Monday, and the second leg 72 hours later. Also on Monday, Birmingham will face Bellevue in league action at Perry Bar.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't ready.
They lost last time they came to Perry Bar, didn't they, Bellevue?
Yeah, I don't think there's any confidence in this team now. Throughout the team, I think this sounds bad. I don't want it to sound bad, but they're sort of going through the motions, and they're just turning up, and not that they're not trying individually, but it's not a team.
No, it doesn't. It's been the problem with Birmingham over the last few seasons. It's a completely different team every year, isn't it? And you can't sort of get any affinity with riders when they're not there for a year. I think Birmingham would love to have kept Freddie Lindgren for this season. They'd love to have kept Tom Brennan for this season, but neither of them were ever going to come back to the club this year.
So, this is the big problem, isn't it? That people are saying that the crowds are not viable to support Speedway at Birmingham, and the crowds that we're seeing certainly aren't. But I'd have to say, what would you expect? If Birmingham City was going through the sort of 3-4 years that we've gone through,
Which they have.
but they haven't.
For many years.
Yeah, but they haven't gone down and down and down and down. Well, we you know, if there was if there was relegation in this league, we would be definitely at the bottom of the National League now. You know,
Yeah, I was going to say this Birmingham team would struggle in the Championship. I think.
As bad as that.
yeah. Well, we're how many points under the limit? 3 or 4 points under
Something
the
like
limit.
that, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so let's move on now to the Championship, and I suppose the big shining light at the moment is Workington. Obviously, have sorted their mid-season problems out, and they've had some strong home form since the season restarted. They had an emphatic 58-32 point win over Scunthorpe at the GT Tyres Arena, and the comments display over the last 2 weeks have manager James Denham believing a push for the top 4 is not beyond them. He said these boys have dug deep over these last 2 weeks and have proved what they can do. Everybody will be talking about us right now for the right reasons, and I think these are the lads that can take us into the playoff. We've covered Anti-Violus' rides very well. There were a few options for guests, but no one can cover Anti-Violus around here. The performance last week gave us the options we could use everyone, and I think this is one of our strengths today. So a tremendous win for Workington after their big win the week before against Poole. Much needed for them.
I know.
All the problems.
I know that I come across sometimes as being anti-Paul, and probably am a little bit if I'm honest. But
Who isn't?
but
Sorry, Paul fans.
but it would be nice to see somebody else win that league.
I don't think they're the favourites at the moment, Paul. But that's obviously a very dangerous thing to say.
No, well,
You
yeah,
never
as
ever
I
write them
know.
off.
Yeah,
You
as
never
I
ever
know.
write them off. Well, talking to Poole, their number 1, Richie Lawson, pulled off a superb Heat 13 ride to get the better of Scunthorpe duo Steve Worrell and Jake Allen, as the league leader secured an away win at the Eddie Wright Raceway on Friday. Lawson said, if we conceded the 5-1 in that one, then the scores would have looked really different. And for some reason, I just couldn't get off the gate today. The start was tricky here, but I felt confident as I knew I had the speed. They were riding well together, but I thought I was faster than them. I got close a number of times, and I knew I had to make it. I saw the chance and went for it. It was close, very close, but when you pull off one of those moves, it's a good feeling. So, Paul bouncing back with a win at Scunthorpe on Friday, which is a great result to get, because Scunthorpe's not an easy place to go.
No.
But they've had a decent home record to there in recent seasons.
Great little track, Scunthorpe.
Yeah, I've not been there, so it's one place I've
You should
been
go.
to, so.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, if we do decide to take some more, well, obviously we'll have to travel, won't we, next year
Yeah.
to watch Speedway. Unfortunately, we know Speedway on this patch, but
Shall we go through some of the comments? And come on, guys, what's been happening in the Speedway world these last 2 weeks? I really need your help.
we will look at the league tables as well a bit later on. So.
Yeah, can we go up a little bit higher on the comments,
Sorry.
please?
That was why.
What's happening next season? One league? I think. How can it not be? I don't understand.
I don't see any other way out of it at the moment. So
Unless somebody's stupid enough to go in to take our place. The riders are not available, apparently, to support how many teams now? 7.
Yep.
How are the riders not available to support 7 teams? What the hell?
yeah, it's getting. I mean, it's usually October, isn't it, when we start the silly season with the rumours? But a lot of rumours are already floating around now. So just wait and see how many of those come true.
I don't see how it cannot be.
Well, they seem to have resisted it for a long time, don't they? But I think it's almost like they're getting backed into a corner now, isn't it? So they can't. I know that whether he's on tonight, Lawrence Rogers, he's always said there's not enough riders for one big league. Not so sure about that one myself.
Well, there's not enough league. There's not enough teams for 2 leagues.
Yeah.
That's the bottom dollar. There just is not.
It would if there was one big league, it would stop the doubling up, which I know would be.
Is it a case there's not enough good riders?
But, they'd still be getting the same amount of rides because they'd be going against more teams. So
I will say, if it is one big league, I think you can say farewell to the likes of Doyle and Seifert-Off, but would that necessarily be, such a bad thing?
Got to rebuild.
I think at the end of the day, British Speed has got to put itself first and just rebuild, because it is literally now down to rock bottom. I think pretty much
threadbare. Bit like our track last night.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have in the past been accused, probably rightly, of having rose-coloured glasses when it comes to Birmingham,
Yeah.
but I just don't feel that at the moment. Did you notice?
Yes, I did notice, yeah.
Okay. Brian Reeson says Ipswich will top the league come Thursday night. We've already read that. We can go down a little bit. That would be cool. Ipswich are now stronger now they have nicked Jason Edwards. I think that's probably true.
I think that has strengthened them, to be honest, yeah. So
Ipswich are all ex-Brummies apart from one.
Yeah, we've seen that from Dave, yeah. Phil Taylor says possibly Ben Barker will ride for Plymouth tomorrow at Oxford.
Okay, let's hope he's okay. What's the thoughts on the Premiership for next year?
What Premiership for next year?
Yeah.
I don't see how there can be one.
It'll be the Speedway League,
Yeah.
is my guess.
Is that going to be a bad thing? As long as it continues, as long as Speedway continues.
Well, it's the only way to go.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong in many ways. I hope like 3 tracks crawl out of the woodwork and they can make it go with it. But Bill Holland says the money is not there for one league, but the tracks are not there for 2 leagues.
No, that's the problem.
It's just
I'm trying to think how many we're down to now.
and so that they will have to cut cloth accordingly.
Yeah.
Dave Twine says it's been said in the past that the riders generally need the money from 2 leagues, but 1 league would give them more fixtures, surely. There you go.
The rather cynical side of people will say that the riders really call the tune in Speedway, particularly in British Speedway, and that may not necessarily be a good thing.
I think that's true to an extent. It is possibly weighted too far in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just seen that one from
Pete Clark says, due to recent criticism from a certain rider, I can announce that Elliot Hunt has cleaned the changing rooms. There you go.
Right on cue.
Yeah.
Smash that phone.
Somebody hasn't switched their phone off though, haven't they? So,
Smash it through.
So do you know what? Phone had an update last week, and I don't know how to do anything on it anymore.
well, while GA is messing with his phone, Glasgow returned to home action at Ashfield with a hard-fought 48-42 win over Redcar to maintain second place in the Cab Direct Championship table. Manager Cammy Brown said, special thanks to our guest Tate Zisk, who did an outstanding job for us. He gave 100% in every race and was possibly the difference in the end. Chris Harris once again produced his typical incredible passes. The one over Charles Wright in Heat 3 was right out of the top draw. I'm just pleased to get some points on the board again after a month missing home meetings. Now we need to kick on again. There's another problem with Speeder clubs going a month without a home fixture.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good, is it? Because people get out of the habit of going to watch the racing.
Wouldn't happen with 1 league, of course.
Have we gone off again?
Sorry, there's a few, problems.
You can't blame me for this one.
No, it's okay.
Are we on?
Are we back on?
We're back on.
You may have lost us again.
Seems to be dropping frames for some reason. I don't know. There you go.
I'm blaming the lightning.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
could be.
meanwhile, for Glasgow's great rivals, Edinburgh took advantage of a rapid start to proceedings as they defeated Plymouth at Armadale, with the third place Monarchs very much in the equation for a playoff place. Captain Paco Castagna won his first 4 rides before missing out in Heat 15 after a frantic battle with the returning Scott Nichols. It's great to see Scott back, by the way. Castagna said, who would have thought I wouldn't be happy with 13 points? I've been pushing hard for the last couple of weeks to get something going here. I found a great setup and I was making great starts and felt very comfortable. I'm glad to play my part for the team, which I hadn't been doing. A great confidence booster and a fantastic win. And again, Edinburgh going along quite nicely at the moment, up to 3rd in the table.
Mm-hmm.
So as I say, obviously we just
I
mentioned...
think the championship's quite wide open, isn't it?
It is at the moment, yeah. And we just mentioned there, of course, Scott Nichols back in action has signed for Plymouth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big coup for the Gladiators.
Oxford versus Plymouth tomorrow.
Not a prediction last year. We missed. I do apologise. We did miss out on that one, but we will go through those and put your scores on there.
Could you pop the? We'll go through these comments as we can as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris Thorogood, I don't see I don't see. Oh, there you go. I don't see how
You see,
I don't see how two leagues work, with clubs wanting different race nights and rider availability with them riding abroad. Also, I don't see how this works, as we'd lose too many riders or squads would be needed, but there are not enough riders. On the other hand, not enough clubs for two leagues. It's going to be not enough clubs for two leagues is the problem. It's going to be very interesting to see the solution. The solution will be one that nobody likes. No, I can guarantee that.
They probably are going to have to make some unpopular decisions, aren't they? I think it's getting to that stage now where if it upsets a lot of the traditionals, but it may do, but if it keeps Speedway alive in the UK,
6-man teams.
I've heard suggestions of 5-man teams,
5-man
maybe even
teams,
so,
yeah.
which I think they have in Denmark, don't they? So the Danish league is a 5-man. So, so Plymouth promoter Mark Phillips believes he has made a statement signing with the acquisition of Scott Nicholls, who made a promising debut in last Friday's defeat at Edinburgh. Nicholls will appear as a home rider at the Coliseum for the first time this Saturday when the Gladiators face his former club Oxford. Phillips said it was tough to lose Daniel Klima after a promising start, but to bring somebody in of Scott's pedigree is a huge boost to the club and fans. He doesn't just bring points, he brings leadership, energy and unmatched knowledge of the sport, and I think that is a great coup for the for Plymouth. And fair play to Mark Phillips, since they've moved up. I mean, Jason Crump's gone there, Nikolai Clint's gone there, Bjarne Pedersen's gone there, so he hasn't been afraid of bringing in the big names, has he? So,
No, not at all.
And I mean, obviously Scott's missed most of the season, hasn't he? After that horrific crash that he had at the end of last year, but still a class performer.
Somebody want to read out Darren Reynolds?
Dan Reynolds, what I hear in Mike's voice is anger and frustration. As a former Reading supporter, it echoes my own feelings from the past. Acceptance is the arrival of reality. Stay positive, mate, says Darren.
Acceptance has already arrived. That's why I can't be positive. I mean,
And I'll get the frustration with Reading as well, because obviously they lost Smallmead and they were promised this new stadium, which has never materialised. And the frustrating thing is that the land at Smallmead is still there; it's not been built on. You can still see the outline of the track if you go on Google Maps, but nothing's happening there. So it would be great to see Reading back, but I think I don't see it at the moment, certainly in the immediate future, unfortunately.
Andy Dugmore says, and Seymour's there as well, at Birmingham, the slight stoppage from the air fence coming down was a whole team effort. After asking the clerk of the course whether he wanted the red flag out, within a couple of seconds all the red flags were waving, so we could sort the situation, which was a plug coming out of the socket. Whole team effort. Well, round of applause to the lot of you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Phil Taylor had a great night at Edinburgh Friday watching Plymouth, and must say the Monarchs have great chance of making the playoffs, providing everyone stays injury free.
They weren't fancied at the start of the season, were they? I don't think we picked them. No, I don't think we did so, but
there's a positive straight away.
So let's have a look at the league tables then, and we'll start off with the Premiership. So at the moment, Bellevue 29 from 17 matches, Ipswich 28 from 16, Sheffield 26 from 15, Leicester 24 from 16, Kings Lynn 14 from 16, Oxford 11 from 18, and Birmingham 6 from 16. So, I think the top, to all intents and purposes, the top four is decided in that league, which I think we knew at the start of the season, didn't we? So,
yeah, I think it's not
just which
particularly
order.
difficult to pick 4 from 7, is it?
Yeah. It says a lot, though, that you've got more chance of start of the season. You've got more chance of being in the playoffs than you have not been, because there's over half the teams qualify for the playoffs, don't they? So, as I say, I think that result last night pretty much, cements Birmingham's place as wooden spoonists. I think it was on the cards anyway, but
Is that a word? Wooden spoonists.
yeah,
It is now.
Yeah.
Well done.
yeah. What we used to call Cradley years ago. Right, so moving on to the champion. Oh, sorry, old habits die hard there. So. Right, moving on then to the Championship. So at the moment, Poole 20 from 10, Glasgow 11 from 7, Edinburgh 10 from 9, Scunthorpe 8 from 9, Oxford 7 from 7, Berwick 6 from 6, Workington 4 from 3, Redcar 5 from 6, and Plymouth 2 from 7. And of course, Workington have actually been deducted those 2 points for breach of SCB regulations.
Oh, what?
That
See, that was all happening when I was last on this programme, and I haven't seen what. So what actually happened about?
They haven't really said much about what it was, to be honest, have they? So, but I mean, they are, as I say, they are talking about the playoffs. They've got a lot of matches to catch up on. You know, they've only had 3 matches this season, and you look at the teams around them on 6, 7, or 8. So there's a few matches still to get in there for Workington. In fact, I don't think they've had any away matches yet in the league, which is quite astonishing that we're nearly into August and you've got a team that hasn't had an away match in the league yet this season. So, but you know, it's quite a healthy lead for Poole at the moment. Isn't it? You know, 9 points from ahead of Glasgow at the top. But you know, again, it's quite open as to who else is going to be in the playoffs. I mean, we tipped Redcar at the start of the season, but they're one from bottom at the moment, so it's
shows what good pundits we are. What can I say?
Does that include me? Oh, sorry. I can tell from your face you don't mean me, do you? No.
Never. I've never.
Break it to me gently.
Just so that you know, I never mean you.
No.
Anyway.
okay. And let's now finally look at the National League. So Oxford at the top at the moment in that one, 11 from 6. Leicester 7 from 5. Edinburgh 7 from 4. Steelers 6 from 5. Middlesbrough 3 from 6. And Bellevue 4 matches, 4 defeats for the Colts so far in the NDL.
That's a strange one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is a little bit strange, yeah. But again, Oxford and Leicester have been, you know, the dominant forces in that league over the last 3 or 4 years, haven't they? So Edinburgh Academy doing pretty well as well on 7 from 4. So and the Steelers on 6 from 5. So it's again quite open at the moment. But you would expect the winner from that league to be one of those top 2 sides as things stand. So.
Okay, well, I guess we better do our predictions league, haven't we?
Yes, including the fixture that I have missed out on. Thanks for putting me up on that one.
No, don't let you get away with anything, do they?
No, of course not. So then, let's start off with tomorrow's action. First of all, in the Championship, we've got Poole against Workington.
Okay, so I'm going to make a executive decision on who goes. I'm going to,
Pardon? Right, okay. Sorry, who was it again?
Poole against Workington.
Oh, I've got to go for Poole. Have I? Yeah. I've got to go for Poole. I was just looking for a hint. Poole by 12.
Poole by 16.
I'll go in the middle then. I'll go Poole by 14. Okay, Oxford against Plymouth is the next one. The return of Scott Nichols to Sandy Lane. Should be a good crowd for that one.
Should be. I'm going to say Oxford by 6.
I'm going to go Oxford by 8.
Oxford by 10.
Okay.
So all think it's going to be fairly close then. So. Okay, and the next one is Ipswich against Birmingham. I don't think this one will be. I don't think this one will be close. So.
I planned that well, didn't I? Okay, I've already put. Sure, it's up to you, but I've already put my score down.
I'll go Ipswich by 26.
Bit harsh. Ipswich by 28.
Now, every time I've done one of these predictions where I've really done a really, really heavy defeat for Birmingham, we've surprised everybody and sort of been 8-10 points behind, so I'm going to say Ipswich by 30.
Okay.
Which is not beyond the realms of possibility given what happened at
Sheffield.
Oxford.
Yeah, or Sheffield. Absolutely, yeah. So, all right, so the next one is Sheffield against Leicester in the Premiership.
Who was that again, sorry?
I
was reading a thing.
Yeah, Sheffield against Leicester.
Sheffield versus Leicester.
That's up to me, isn't it?
Yep.
Leicester by 6.
Okay. Sheffield by 6.
Sheffield by 10. I'll go for that one.
Damn.
Okay. Scunthorpe against Edinburgh in the Championship on Friday.
Scunthorpe versus Edinburgh. I'm going to say Scunthorpe need to hit back a little bit, so I'm going to say Scunthorpe by 10.
I'll go Scunthorpe by 12.
Scunthorpe by 8. Yes, please get your ride of the week in as well.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to
I
think of-
have kept count of the couple that have come.
Okay. Next up is Redcar against Poole in the championship.
That's up to you.
Poole by 4.
Chris?
Paul by 6.
Okay, I will have to say Poole by 6 as well.
Okay. Glasgow against Berwick is the next one. That's in the championship as well.
That's up to you, Chris.
Was it Berwick by Berwick?
Glasgow versus Berwick.
Oh, I'll go for Glasgow by 12.
I will go Glasgow by 12 as well.
I'll go Glasgow by 16. Okay, so let's drop into the National Development League. The Steelers against Edinburgh at Scunthorpe. That's on Friday. That's after the championship meeting between the two sides as well.
Steelers by 8.
I'll go Edinburgh by 4.
I'll go Edinburgh by 2.
Okay.
Okay, then on Saturday, Workington against Redcar. Can the Comets continue their...
Plymouth by 4.
Oxford by 2.
I'll go Plymouth by 2.
It's going to be a tight one then.
Okay. Berwick against Glasgow is the next one, so... It's the return,
Berwick versus Glasgow.
return of the tie of the night before at Ashfield.
I'm going to say Glasgow by 6.
Berwick by 4.
Glasgow by 4.
And what a time for me to realise that Berwick have signed Jefferson. Good signing for Berwick, that'll be. That'll be a good signing. He'll do well there.
You'll get some good more wins as well. So, Leicester against Edinburgh is the next one. That's in the NDL on Sunday.
And we'll just wait until we're back in. And we're back in. Sorry, Leicester versus Edinburgh. That's up to you.
Leicester by 6.
Okay.
Leicester by 10.
I'm going to say Leicester by 12.
Okay. Oxford against Bellevue. That's in the NDL on Sunday as well. 3 o'clock start.
And that's up to you, Chris.
Sorry, what was that?
Oxford versus Bellevue. Nobody's listening today.
Bellevue by 4.
Is this the NDL, did you say?
Yes. Yeah, Bellevue lost every meeting.
Yeah,
so far.
but Bellevue have lost every meeting at the moment.
They've got a 1 server, haven't they? So.
Close enough.
Oxford by 16.
I'll go Oxford by 10 on that one. Okay, on Monday, it's Birmingham against Bellevue.
God. What have I got on this one? I'm going to say an optimistic Bellevue by 6.
I'll go Bellevue by 10.
Bellevue by 12.
Okay, and last but by no means least, the first leg of the Premiership Knockout Cup final, Kings Lynn against Leicester.
That's up to you.
Kings Lynn by 10.
Kings Lynn by 8.
So I was going to say that as well. Kings Lynn by 8.
You can copy if you like.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Rider of the Weeks. We've had Kurtz.
Yeah,
We've had Fraser Bowes.
Clint as well.
And I'm tempted to go for Luke Colleen.
You rode well last night.
Did ride well. So I'm going to go for Luke Colleen.
I'm going to go for Janoska. That's the best I've seen him ride since he came back to
Who'd you go for?
Magic Janoska for Oxford.
Yeah, try spelling that one right.
I'm just going for Novsky.
Right, so
Well, it's really close.
One of the things that you will have missed, obviously, is British Speedway is now doing these 8 weeks of tickets, chances to win 2 tickets to domestic league matches of your choice during the summer. So, very simple. It revolves around engagement with our social media channels as they look to spread the word with a packed schedule ahead over July and August. So every Monday morning for a period of 8 weeks, check out British Speedway's social media channels. You will see a post detailing all of the fixtures for the week ahead. As part of this posting, there will be a competition element. We may ask a question or ask for a score prediction. They're copying us now. Or get you if you provide a suitable photograph caption. All you have to do is engage with the posting or on any or all of the social media platforms, and at the end of the week, a winner will be selected. They will be entitled to a pair of tickets for any regular domestic fixture of their choice, whether at the club they support or elsewhere, and they will be contacted to establish which fixture they wished to attend.
Okay.
So, good little initiative, I think, that.
I think so.
It's good to see British Speedway finally getting on board with social media as well, isn't it? Because they sort of were dismissive of it for many years, weren't they? But
No, they saw it as the enemy, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I can understand that. But for years, Speedway supporters didn't have a voice. Now all of a sudden they've got,
yeah.
like everybody in the whole wide world, have got this voice to talk about what they like. It's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Opinions.
Opinions. Okay, we have Fraser Bowes as a rider of the week as well. Have we got a winner? Yes.
We haven't. No, I'm waiting for one more vote, and then we'll have a winner.
If it's one of the ones that are tight.
Yeah. Actually, we have got one in front. Yeah.
Who's in front?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
I might sway. I don't want to sway votes. To be
Yeah,
fair,
you do. That's why you say it.
Kurtz is in front by
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, he's got to be rider of the season. Brady Kurtz so far, I think he's been a real breath of fresh air in the in the GPs. I still think it's going to be a tall order for him to overcome Smarsley, but
All he can do is put the pressure on.
Yeah.
which he has been doing.
The next one's going to be interesting, of course, because it's Riga, and I don't think he's ever ridden there, so that might be a disadvantage to him. So we'll see how he goes. That one, we'll get the GP fixed. We'll get the GP standings up. Actually, we've not got any more GPs until I think it's the start of next month. Is the next one?
Yeah, I mean the GPs. We used to get a GP nearly every week or every other week, didn't we? And now there's how many of that have we got now? Is it 10?
Yeah, it's not
10 GPs. Okay.
Yeah, so the next one is, of course, that is the Latvia Grand Prix. That's on the 2nd of August, so I believe that's next week, isn't it? So, okay, so at the moment, Bartosz Smarslik still leads the way on 131. Brady Kurtz, 122. Of course, Kurtz has won the last 2 Grand Prix and has pulled back 4 points in those 2 GPs on Smarslik so far. Freddie Lindgren, 99, Dan Bewley, 97, Jack Holder, 86, Andrei Lebedev's 59, Max Frick, 59, Robert Lambert, 57, Dominic Cabrera, 51, and Jan Kovac rounds out the top 10 at the moment on 49. So, Smarslik's, I think, still the favourite. Purely.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah. You know, only 3 Grand Prix to go. Well, 4 Grand Prix to go, because is it 3? No, it is, because you've got the Latvia Grand Prix, then you've got the...
Yes, that's added something, or is it just a bit of a sideshow bob?
It's obviously something different, isn't it? And I think they've tried to do that with the GPs in recent seasons, haven't they? So,
and we've been disconnected once again.
well, to be honest, the first time I watched one of them was actually for the last one in Malala, and I quite enjoyed it, to be fair. So it was, something, not Malala, because it was round off in the Malala Grand Prix, but they did it for the GP before, which I think was Gorzoff. And I enjoyed that as well. And of course, you get to see the live draw, and I like the fact as well that obviously after the qualifying, the riders can see how things are going on the track, and then they've then got the option to choose their starting position. I think that's something different to it as well.
It's interesting to see where people,
Yeah,
the differences that they make each week on where they want to go.
yeah.
I do quite like the qualifying. I'm just not convinced about the sprint race. I think it's a bit of a distraction, really.
Well, it gives you extra points, doesn't it? Brady Curtis obviously. I think Brady Curtis had 3 points from the two of them, and he's actually made 6 points on Smarslick in those 2 sprint races alone. So I think he's got 6 points from the 2 sprint races so far, and Smarslick's only got 2, which of course was the first Grand Prix at Bellevue on the Friday. So he's been able to use that to his advantage. So it's I do think there's I'd like to think there's going to be more changes afoot in the GPs, because it has, I think, lost its way. I think it's even in Poland. I think the viewing figures are down, but whether that's because of the dominance of Smarslick.
Crazy idea. Why don't they have a series of rounds where people qualify for a one-off final? I mean, crazy idea, I know, but
I've heard crazier ideas. I've heard crazier ideas in the last 24 hours, to be honest, but I won't discuss those on the air.
it's just such a big occasion
Yeah,
when you do
been doing it
that.
for years.
It's just such a big occasion when you do that. And there's people that have never experienced that, that Wembley final or whatever it's, and you could see them bringing back Cardiff or something like that, because I'm sure it would be viable.
I don't think
once every 4 years.
I don't think there's any route back for Cardiff now, to be honest. So, but I felt with Cardiff in the last 4 or 5 years that they were sort of, it was being.
They were treading ground, weren't they?
Being put together as cheaply as possible. They were. I don't think there's any doubt that it never made any profit at Cardiff, because the place was never full. I think 41,000, something like that, might have been the highest attendance, which was about 2010. So, which is probably really when the GP was in its prime, to be honest. But it's interesting as well looking at it from the Polish perspective, because Smarslick's been dominant, but there's not many other dominant Poles coming through at the moment, is there? Smarslick's the only Pole in the, well, apart from Cabera, but Cabera's a good rider, but he's nowhere near the level of Smarslick.
That's because he spent his apprenticeship at Birmingham for 2 races.
Yeah, I don't think he's obviously not going to be coming back for the farewell, is he, sir?
Nobody's coming back for the farewell, apparently. No ex-riders, no. I'm guessing no fireworks. Maybe they'll do some fireworks.
Well, there'll be some of the ex-riders will be there, won't they? People like Andy Graham will be there, I would have thought. And
he's always there.
Arthur Browning, of course. He's there every week, isn't he? You could probably do with getting Big Arthur back on the track, couldn't they? Probably.
Well, nobody get past him, that's for sure.
He's the times I've spoken to him, he wasn't exactly lacking in confidence, self-confidence, was he ever? So,
no,
but
Arthur, no.
He was always a big hero at Birmingham, though. He was a local boy as well. So
he was.
Yeah.
That's one. So when we do our show to celebrate Birmingham Speedway, that's one of the stories that I will regale, or somebody will regale, that Arthur's very, very first match for Birmingham at reserve, when you only get 3 rides at that point. He had a 3. He had a 3. He had a 3. Captain George Major said, "You can have my ride," and he came out and got a full maximum in his first match from reserve.
Yeah.
Not short of confidence, as you say.
No, absolutely.
So lots of stories. Save them up for us, guys, and we will do a celebration of Birmingham Speedway.
Yeah, I think there's certainly for the modern generation of Birmingham fans, I suppose the one person they would have liked to have seen back in Perry Bar again was Jason Lyons. He was such an inspiration to everybody in those early years, wasn't it? And Birmingham have never replaced him, have they?
No, they haven't.
Really. So,
no, they have never.
Not through want of trying, but
we had the years of Danny and Ben
Barker. They were never anywhere near the level of him, though, were they? So.
But they were. They were good in their own right as a pairing. They were. But other than that, there hasn't been anybody. There hasn't been a number one like Jason Lyons for Birmingham.
No, ironically, because he didn't like riding at number one.
He didn't ride at number one then.
No.
Yeah.
So we have a tie for Rider of the Week, so I'm going to leave it to the panel to pick the winner out of Fraser Bowes.
Where's the panel?
Oh, that's you two. I couldn't find anybody else. So.
Well, it depends, because if one of the choices is one of the ones that we picked.
Okay. It's Kurtz and Bowes.
Okay, you choose who you want.
I'll go for Bowes.
I'll go for Kurtz. Oh, no.
All right, then.
We've got a coin there, you can toss it.
So the decider goes to me, then.
You don't even know who they are.
They're Speedway riders.
Well,
obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Nobody has a coin anymore, do they?
When you got a bank card, you can toss it in the air or something.
Heads or tails? Heads, bows, cuts, tails.
This is probably
All you need to know is heads, bows. That's really all you
heads,
need
bows,
to know.
yeah, okay.
This is probably how they decide things in the base behind
Yeah.
meetings, isn't it?
It's
Toss of
Kurt.
the
It's
coins.
Kurt's anyway.
Is it?
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Jeff Daniel says Brummies can be proud of having Schmarschlik as a rider.
Off for one, was it one meeting? he
One
did?
meeting, I believe. Yep. I think that was rained off as well.
Oh, it was the Swindon meeting, wasn't it? The one that Alan Rossiter got called off because Swindon were going to lose. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that, should I?
Was that last time we were going to win them? I don't know. Yeah, we like to say that we had Schmarschlik riding for us, and he's a Brummie rider and world champion, because we haven't actually got many of them. Jason Doyle, of course.
Oh, see
Hans
Fred Graham's
Nelson.
comment there, so...
Fred Graham, I'll pass on your comments to Jason Lyons and see if you could contact him to dial into you. That would be fantastic. That would be the
So he started at Glasgow, didn't he? I think Jason Lyons, way back at the start of his career in the late 80s. And he rode there for a couple of years. So,
Yeah.
And then, of course, he had his long association with Bellevue. And Bellevue, I think, was always his club, but I think, there was a real affinity that he had with the Birmingham fans. So
Yeah, absolutely. And those moments when he didn't make the gate.
Yeah.
We should save this.
Yeah,
we
save
should
this.
save all this. Yeah.
You're right.
But Fred, if you can do that, I will be embarrassingly grateful. Yeah. Right. I
can hear
can hear the theme tune going on.
I can hear the theme too.
We hope to see you again next Tuesday. I have to be honest and say it's a bit of a moving feast for me at the moment, but I will certainly do everything I can to be here. You take care, everyone. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Sorry.
What's the news today? Have a drink, you say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today.
You need a sound.